ARMS was one of my most anticipated Switch games for 2017. Nintendo always has a way of taking a genre and Nintendo-fying it. For example, Mario Kart takes the racing genre and consistently delivers exciting and wacky racing gameplay through every iteration. Smash Bros took the fighting genre, added 4-player battles, and all-star roster, and solidified itself as its own subgenre of fighting game. Animal Crossing Nintendo-fied the sim genre, and Kid Icarus, even though it's not a majorly popular Nintendo IP, took on-rail shooters and gave it a unique Nintendo spin. ARMS is the Nintendo-fied version of boxing. We have had boxing games in the past like Punch-Out, but ARMS takes things to the next level, giving characters spring-like arms that extend out when you punch with the Joy-Con in your hand. This makes it so you can't just spam punches. Each punch leaves you vulnerable for a moment while your arm is extended, some leaving you vulnerable for longer than others. At first glance, ARMS looks pretty gimmicky, like you can just kind of flail and win, but there's actually a lot more to it than that. Dashing, jumping, and different special abilities for each character add a lot to what seems like fairly simple gameplay, and on top of that, there's a plethora of different arms to try out and plenty of different combinations to experiment with. Each different arm has an element that you can charge and unleash onto your enemy. For example, one of my favorites is Ice. When you hit with the charged Ice element arm, it'll leave your opponent frozen for a moment, slowing them down so you can get another hit in. With so much variety, there's quite a bit to play around with. Each character also has a special ability that makes them unique from the others, which is cool, but I feel like it didn't change things enough from character to character. I found they all, for the most part, played pretty much the same. The big difference was the arms each character starts with. This made the characters feel more unique, but later in the game, once you've unlocked more arms for each character, the character you were using didn't really matter as much as the arms you were using. For example, I could easily play Ribbon Girl with my favorite combo, Double Slap-O-Manners, and then set Min Min up with the same arms and do just as well. I got good at using specific arms, not a specific character. This doesn't work for everyone, most notably Master Mummy since he's a heavy type, but you get what I mean. And honestly, it's not the worst thing, it kind of lets you pick who you want to play based on character design rather than what works for you. For example, in Smash, I recently found out that I'm pretty good at playing Yoshi, but I don't want to play a dumbass dinosaur, I want to play Toon Link or someone cool, but it's just not viable. In ARMS, as far as I know, any character is viable because it's the arms that are the most important part. But that leaves us with an issue. If the arms aren't balanced, then there's going to be a select few combinations that will be used by everyone, and out the window goes variety and experimentation with the arms, which is one of the most fun parts of the game. So far, anything with explosive properties seems to be the best option, and I have come across a couple somewhat broken combos, but a lot of the arms in the game are viable, and I honestly think they're doing a pretty good job keeping things as balanced as they can. So the combat has a lot more to it than it seems at first glance, but that's the only part that has more than meets the eye. The other game modes are shallow and pretty much pointless, and there were no unlockables other than the arms themselves until an update that introduced badges, a sort of achievement type system that rewards you with a cool looking badge anytime you do something new or complete a challenge in the game. Speaking of the badges, they look a lot like pins from The World Ends With You, which is one of my favorite DS games of all time, and apparently it's getting a sequel on the Switch, which is something I talked about never happening in a previous video. Link in the bio. Check it out if you want. Also, subscribe while you're clicking down there too. Maybe leave a comment. I don't know, whatever, man. Anyways, this badge system did add a lot more replay value to the game, and I think that it's a neat way to do achievements, since you can actually display a badge you've unlocked while playing online, which is kind of fun. But, why wasn't that there from the start? And why is it that these are the only unlockables in the game other than the arms themselves? Which, by the way, have a fairly boring way to unlock. You just play this little gacha type game and hope that you randomly get the arm you're looking for the character you want. It's a little tedious since you can also get duplicates of arms, making it even harder to unlock them all. I miss the old days when you had to play 1,000 versus matches to unlock a character, or beat a certain game mode to unlock more content. I feel like fighting games like this definitely need incentives like that to push you to actually want to continue playing the game and beat the difficult challenges, because unless you really enjoy the core gameplay, it's not going to make you want to keep playing unless you get some sort of reward out of it. I think it could have been great to unlock special arms alongside the badges rather than save up the coins and play the arms getter. Even things like alternate skins could have been put as unlockables to add a little more value to the game. Badges do a really great job of turning achievements into a collectible, and with the recent patch they've introduced events that can get you special edition badges for doing well in the event, which is pretty cool. But still, badges are only a small step up from achievements. They don't add anything special to the gameplay or give you an edge for putting time in. I think a big reason unlockables are so few and far between nowadays is DLC. Devs don't want to put all the content in a game anymore, hidden or not, if they can make an extra buck or two. Luckily, Nintendo doesn't think this way, and when they put extra content in a game, it's exactly that. Extra content. But just because DLC is a thing doesn't mean all the extra cool stuff should come exclusively from DLC. Why not hide some of it in the vanilla game? A great example of a current gen game that does DLC and unlockables well is Mario Kart 8. The game itself is just kart racing, but there's lots of different karts to unlock just by playing and gathering coins, or the golden kart pieces unlocked by doing things like winning first in every cup or beating all the time trials. ARMS could have easily had some golden arms hidden for you to unlock by beating the Grand Prix on max difficulty or getting so many points in basketball or whatever, but none of that is there, and because of it I lost interest in ARMS faster than a hyperactive 9-year-old loses interest in math class. It had so much potential, but it kind of fell flat. This is the first time I feel like Nintendo has sold me an unfinished game and given me the rest later. The good part being, the rest later is free, unlike a lot of other games nowadays. But still, free content or not, I don't want it just handed to me. I would have loved to have new characters hidden behind a certain challenge or task. Give me a little more reason to play the game other than it just being fun. It's far more entertaining when you have a goal to work towards than just throwing some punches with a friend. Speaking of punching your friends, the best part of the entire game is multiplayer. Playing with friends is some of the most fun I've had on Switch, and the online ranked mode is surprisingly fun. It seems to do a good job of matching with people around the same rank as you so you don't get your ass beat by people higher levels than you. The only issue is ranked gets boring pretty fast, and the other online modes are far less polished or as thought through as the 1v1 modes. But you know what could help with that? I don't know, maybe actually unlocking something useful when you rank up? Like, it doesn't have to be a new arm or anything intense. They clearly liked the arms getter idea, but they could have put anything there to give you more incentive to rank up. That's pretty much what it boils down to, incentive. I have no incentive to play the game other than my girlfriend complaining that I never play ARMS with her anymore. That all being said though, ARMS now is a pretty decent game. I could definitely justify paying full price for it now, but vanilla ARMS just kinda sucked, and that sucked for everybody who picked it up day one. I am glad, however, to see how much they are adding with the free content updates every month or so. They've added enough to pique my interest again, and it feels far more fleshed out now than when it initially came out, like it should have been from the start. That incentive to play is still barely there, but the badges make each play session a little more fun. So once again, Nintendo has Nintendofied a new genre to generally good reception. I can't see ARMS ever getting a sequel, but I could see it getting more future updates to improve upon what they've built so far. I just hope in the future Nintendo don't release a game again before it's finished. Just leave that shit to Ubisoft. Hey, thanks for sticking around till the end. You can check out some of my other videos if you enjoyed this one, as well as hit the like button, maybe subscribe if you want it. Alright, I'll see you next time with more videos. Probably, maybe, not, I don't know.